Well, guys, it is me, Ethan Clark, and I'm presenting the complete history that I know of about Donald Duck, a presentation by Ethan Clark. Okay, first off, Donald Duck's origins. Back a long time ago, Walt Disney took inspiration from Oswald the Rabbit and created Steamboat Willie. That led to the creation of Mickey Mouse. Mickey Mouse was, quote-unquote, Walt Disney's golden goose, and he was iconic and legendary and made him a bunch of money. But Mickey Mouse was a little bit lonely. He needed a little bit of friends. So in the 1930s and 40s, Walt Disney heard Clarence Nash doing a peculiar voice while reciting Mary Had a Little Lamb, and that led to the creation of the man, the myth, the duck we know today. And this is the first appearance of Donald Duck in 1933's Mickey Mouse Adventures. Donald's early appearances and purpose. Donald was Mickey's friend that appeared in multiple early comics and films. He wasn't really a person though. He was just a duck with a silly voice. The Second World War would soon change that. And so we have the original sketches of Donald Duck, and then he got his sailor's outfit eventually. Anyways, on to the next slide. Donald Duck goes to war. The 40s had kind of a conflict going on in it. I don't know if you guys heard about it. It was World War II. Disney drafted up Donald Duck and actually made a short film called Donald Duck Gets Drafted and made Donald Duck their scapegoat for wartime propaganda, and they majorly profited off of that. Anyways, Donald Duck was a major figurehead for the war effort for Disney, and many people grew attached to him as a character because he represented the everyman going into battle in the landscape of the media. On to the next slide. Donald Duck goes into retirement. Donald Duck became a character in the media that every man could relate to during the war. So what happened to him afterwards? He went out into the world and he lived his best life. Drinking, partying, celebrating, socializing, getting his own chunk of land to celebrate and to create a newer, brighter future. Disney also made him very frustrated with the world, which is where his anger issues originated. He felt like the system was flawed and it was kind of weird and the world was against only him. A feeling a lot of people had in the 40s. Donald led so many short films in this era. Epic year.
That's going to be some points
including the ones listed out. Donald gets multiple solo series and a nemesis, 2 friend groups, and a family. Donald got a massive amount of the spotlight, so he did a bunch of different things. He got a girlfriend, Daisy Duck. He started a band, I'm going to say that wrong, oopsie. And Disney was kind of like, he's making a bunch of money, we need to give him it. What, do you have a question?
How much lights were there?
Shut up, I'm presenting. They also gave him an extended family.
That is one of
That's a valid question.
They're 16-ish.
Okay.
So Disney was like, wow, Donald's famous and we're making a bunch of money off him. We should give him a family. And also, so he got 3 nephews and a bunch of other family members, which will be expanded on earlier. But he got 2 friend groups, his band, and then Mickey Mouse's crew, and he starred in a bunch of different films. Donald was living in his golden era. He got to interact with everyone, and he got to do everything. And there are multiple comic books and Disney short animated films that prove this. Chip and Dale were his nemesises and often bothered him in many of the short films. He tried hunting them, but then he got beaten up by them and looks like an idiot. But other than that, that's it. He's like me, Donald is, because he has a nemesis. Donald was living his best life with all his friends and his family in this era. Explaining Donald Duck's family tree. Okay, so this is Donald Duck's family tree. Donald has a twin sister who married just Duck. We actually don't know anything else about him. And he has 3 nephews, and here are his important cousins, Feathery and Gladstone Gander. Gladstone is really lucky once Donald's not, and Feathery is kind of like the, cousin that we all have.
Yeah, like that.
Scrooge McDuck is his uncle, and Scrooge kind of has a bunch of cash, and will be mentioned more later. Donald's family got around and created a very complicated tree. The most notable people on this tree is Donald's sister, Della Duck, Scrooge McDuck, his uncle, and Donald's sister's 3 children, Huey, Louie, and Dewey, Donald's nephews. Fun fact, Donald's girlfriend, Daisy Duck, and him have the same last name, even though they aren't related or married. Donald Duck gets pushed out to sea. Scrooge McDuck became really famous because of the small little story, A Christmas Carol, having the same name. The world wanted to see more of this rich duck, and Disney wanted to give him the spotlight in the comic book landscape. Donald, who was taking care of his 3 nephews at the time because his sister abandoned them and went to the moon randomly, then decided to abandon them by dropping off his 3 nephews, Louie, Huey, and Dewey, off at Scrooge's house and then buying a boat and going off to sea. Donald Duck's departure officially made him a sailor for the rest of his time in physical media. He didn't really sail or anything beforehand. He had a few little short films where he's himself, but he actually got his official boat and became a captain in this time. This launched the comic book DuckTales by Carl Banks. Donald wasn't in Disney media for a lot of years after this because his nephews and uncle got the forefront of attention and a TV show titled DuckTales without him. Donald Duck returns in media. Donald Duck makes his grand return to Disney media with the 2 classic series, Mickey Mouse's Clubhouse, which aired from 2006, the year I was born, to 2016, where he was Mickey's friend that lived near Mickey's Clubhouse, and he also appeared in Mickey Mouse shorts in 2013 through 2019, an animated adventure comedy that had short episodes ranging from 2 minutes long to 13 minutes long. Donald's character was very more dramatized and angry and had a lot more anger issues in these shorts. But his design was funny and I really liked it, so yeah. Ethan Clark now presents Donald Best Portrayal in Physical Media. In 2017, a reboot of the classic Carl Banks show DuckTales aired, known as DuckTales. This show, instead of pushing Donald Duck out into sea, made Donald stick around, and it probably gave us the best portrayal of this angry, silly, and weird-sounding duck. Ethan Clark is now going to rant about the show and Donald Duck as a character in it. Before you change it, look at this design. It's so...
You can do it.
God! Dang it! We're not done!
Yay, we're finished! Ethan, you should have wrote questions at the end for us to answer.
You can ask.
Wait, so if they
You
have
can
a
ask
family
questions.
tree, that means those ducks had sex.
I said I put Donald's family got around in the slideshow.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Hold on, now I gotta sign in.
That's sick. Those ducks were making sweet sweet love.
This is like my intermission. I'm gonna get a little drink real quick.
Good, keep hiding my screen. I don't want them knowing my information.
I can't even pick you up.
Oh!
I thought you were gonna show her nalgas for a second.
Did I flash you? Do you have shorts on? Yes, I have
That she
shorts
has
on.
shorts on. We almost saw her ass.
Oh my god.
You just showed. What is wrong with you?
I don't know.
Jesus.
Don't hit the Xbox.
Okay. Helen, get out of the way! I'm presenting!
Okay, look at this design with where we
Look at this design. Look at this.
Careful with
This
Xbox.
combines every single version of his outfit all into the ultimate one. And he looks very good. And also he's holding on to the dragon for his dear life because he's scared and he's incompetent and old. Okay, Donald as a character before the show begins, we need to provide context and
That's
backstory.
Donald Duck.
Yes.
Why, why is the text so little I can't even read it?
I can, guys. Don't worry. Donald Duck was born along with his twin sister, Dumb Della, which is Della Duck. Their parents wanted them to live a better life than they could provide, so Donald and Della were shipped off to their Uncle Scrooge's house. Donald was emo and sad and wanted to make a rock band and let his voice be heard around the world. So he formed a garage band and ignored his sister a lot of the time in their early childhood. Scrooge was kind of cranky because the story A Christmas Carol was going on, but after that they went on a bunch of adventures and grew really close as the family and went on hundreds of adventures, making Scrooge a zillionaire, and he literally has a money bank which they swim in gold coins. But Donald and Della grew really close. Donald created a garage band, and Scrooge, Donald, and Della went on a bunch of adventures going around the world. They grew up together and they had a bunch of fun times, and Donald found out that his sister was going to have 3 nephews, and he was very excited to be an uncle, but his sister was kind of freaking out because they explored all the world. She had no adventures left to give to her kids, so she was kind of sad, and Scrooge overheard this and decided to give her the stars. He begins working on a secret project, Scrooge McDuck. That's it. Now, Donald and DuckTales 2017 pilot. The new DuckTales show opens up with Donald Duck living on his houseboat with his 3 nephews. He lost his previous job because of his anger issues and he wants to leave the boys on a boat while he goes job hunting. But the last time he left his family unsupervised, Della kind of disappeared forever, and Donald got left with 3 nephews. And also, my face is not in the thing. We have to redo all of it. No, I'm kidding. Guys, I feel like you're not paying attention to my slideshow. I pay attention to the audience.
guy.
Oh, okay. Donald and Scrooge don't talk anymore, and Huey, Louie, and Dewey, which he takes care of, are little annoying shits. They prank called the babysitter and sent the babysitter all the way to the desert, and that was 200 miles away.
I can't see Louie, Dewey.
It's them. You'll
Okay.
see them later. And Donald had no choice, because he's job hunting, but to call Scrooge McDuck to babysit him. He hasn't seen Scrooge in 8 years since the incident. Donald tells Scrooge he owes him for the injustice he did to them before the triplets were born, and Scrooge babysits them for the day while Donald goes job hunting. Anyways, the nephews grow close to Scrooge and head off to find Atlantis in the meantime, and Donald gets hired to do a sketchy job by Scrooge's arch nemesis who also wants to steal the treasure in Atlantis. Donald stops an assassin from killing Scrooge and his 3 nephews in Atlantis, saves the day, has a big argument with Scrooge about Scrooge putting his nephews in danger immediately. Then they find the treasure. Donald decides to head home with his boys, and he decides he'll include them in his uncle's life more because family is important. Donald's houseboat then explodes, and Scrooge invites Donald and his nephews to live with him. Donald and DuckTales Season 1. Donald moved back in with his great uncle Scrooge. Donald rebuilt his houseboat and Scrooge's pool. While this happens, him and his family go on multiple adventures and grow even closer. It is discovered Donald's best friend is Storkules, the stork Hercules. And it is also revealed Donald has neglected his own personal life because for the past 8 years he has had to take care of 3 triplets randomly given to him. Donald has terrible luck and can't get a job and is frustrated a lot during the season, but he also doesn't like relying on Scrooge. And he spends the whole entire season kind of repairing his boat. Donald's bad luck often sets him back, but he never gives up. Persistent, devoted, and stubborn, Donald's misadventures make him a great person. The first season of the show builds up to Scrooge's greatest nemesis being released, trapping Scrooge and his lucky dime. During this time, Donald's nephews discover what happened to their mom. Della wanted to give her nephews the stars because she took away and explored all the adventures around the world. Scrooge heard about this and built her a rocket called the Spear of Selene. Della then went into outer space and was never heard from again. This information breaks the nephews' hearts and makes them never want to see Scrooge again because they invented a rocket. Scrooge invented a rocket ship to get them away to get Della away from her. And now she's dead. Donald, who has lost his family, being really close before once, works hard to make this revelation understandable for the kids. He works hard to keep his family together, and now, with his nephews, they defeat Scrooge's greatest nemesis, Magical Dispel, and rescue him. The family is now really close again, and while they are sad about Della's loss, they aren't going to let this revelation separate their family once again. The first season ends with Donald fixing his houseboat, and they decide to stay living at Scrooge's pool. Donald lives in Scrooge's pool. A photo is taken of the family smiling, and then the camera pans away from that photo out to the Earth, out to the moon, and on the moon is a destroyed rocket ship. Standing on the rubble is Della Duck, and she was alive for 10 years on the moon. End of the first season. I have 3 more slides.
Okay, next.
DuckTales Season 2. Also what Donald does during it. Let's be so for real. Family is tiring, and by the time DuckTales Season 2 rolls around, Donald has been taking care of 3 kids by himself for 10 years. He needs a break, and he tries multiple different outlets of everyone. He wants to have a family board game night, but then gets struck down onto a microscopic level and is in the middle of a war between microscopic civilizations. He wants to reunite with his old garage band at a tropical resort, but suddenly an evil plant monster starts attacking the village that they're staying in. His 3 nephews are really annoying also. Stork Hercules moves in with them uninvited, and Donald never before in his life has had so many things going on at once. And it is very clear that he needs a break. So his Uncle Scrooge and his 3 nephews decided to send him away on a month-long cruise. Donald doesn't want to leave his family, but it becomes very clear that he needs a break. So he decides to leave. And as he's walking out of the mansion ready to go on his 1-month-long cruise, he sees a rocket ship crash down onto the Earth. He's surprised. He's shocked. He's like, oh my god, is that my sister who disappeared 10 years ago? He goes running towards the rocket ship, and he finds nothing inside of there. And then he accidentally hits the auto sequence button, and he gets Donald gets sent to the moon. On the moon, he discovers that his sister lived there for 10 years and is a criminal. Donald then gets thrown in jail for being related to Della Duck, and he finds out from the Moon King that the Moon King plans on conquering planet Earth and killing every single member of Donald's family. Donald fights the Moon King and escapes barely with his life, taking the ship back to Earth, planning on returning home to inform his family about the threat that is coming to destroy them and the Earth. Donald can't return home, though, because he crashes on a deserted island and becomes best friends with a watermelon shaped like Mickey Mouse. Eventually, in the final episode, Donald is rescued from the island. He reunites with his sister in this photo here, and there's the watermelon Mickey Mouse. Here's him fighting the Earth, the Moon King, and here's him getting a cake, getting ready to send off on his little
Why is there
thing.
a picture of his ass cheeks?
This is going on YouTube, Bobby. Fuck you! Sorry.
My posts are going on YouTube. I'm gonna be famous.
Mickey Mouse, Donald's rescued from the island and he gets reunited with his sister after 10 years. They argue and bicker, but then they hug because they're family. And he gets to be with his family again. And they also stop the evil moon guy from destroying the entire world with a giant flying space battle. Donald's very good at steering the spaceship because he owns a boat and he's been in a spaceship twice before. I have 2 more slides. Let me cook. I need to stop saying fuck!
Ethan!
Oh my god.
Intermission!
Here's my other interlude.
He's done.
Oh, I need to start it again.
Just could you have water?
Yeah, it's in the fridge.
Guys, I'm almost done. I'm so sorry.
My throat is burning.
Do you want water?
No, because I was wheezing.
So how we liking the slideshow so far, guys?
I want the photo of Donald Duck where it looks like he has a boner.
What?
Why is that not in
Oh my
there?
god, I know what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
that was a meme. Why didn't you put memes in there? What the hell?
I was talking passionately about my celebrity crush.
You didn't
Wait,
put
but
that
what do you
photo
like
in there?
about Donald Duck? Are you gonna have
All I'm
that?
hearing is about
Maybe-
the storyline.
Yeah, I know.
Maybe if you wait. Okay, guys, I still
Yeah.
have 2 more slides. Patience is
They're all
fucking virtue.
Guys, and it's literally 3,000 words each.
Oh my god, I'm at 17 minutes.
No way.
Uh,
Okay, we're going to the next one, right?
Yeah, 15.
Oh, I just wanted
Guys, I need everyone's attention. This has less words in it this time. DuckTales Season 3, what Donald Duck doesn't. Since Donald doesn't have to fully take care of his nephews anymore because his sister turned out to be alive, and because she took over him whenever he went off to the moon and was thrown in jail and was beaten the shit out of, and then he fought the evil Moon King. You remember that from the last time. Donald now has a lot more time on his hands. He begins doing therapy and he finds himself a job that he's very happy about. He wants to have more hobbies instead of venturing with his nephews and his family. So he gets his old band to reunite and they decide to enter a talent show. Funny thing is, they couldn't enter the talent show, so they had to find a way to sneak in themselves. And whenever they did that, they ran into Daisy Duck, a lady who wanted her dress designs to be showed off to the world. Donald falls in love with Daisy's look and looks and wants and like her fashion and her creativity.
Oh, so
and
not her personality.
Daisy falls in love with his voice. Donald gets himself a girlfriend. Guys, listen, Donald gets himself a girlfriend. Yay, if he can do it, anyone can. The rest of the season makes Donald focus on the relationships in his life, growing closer with his sister, his cousins, his uncle, his nephews, and his girlfriend. Donald, in the end, is excellently portrayed in this adaptation of DuckTales, and his character is fully realized and is at its best. Whenever the show finally reaches its end, what they did with Donald Duck in the show was immaculate. Now here's Daisy and Donald and them performing at the thing, and then Daisy and Donald meeting for the first time in the elevator. Now last up, why I love Donald Duck and DuckTales. DuckTales 2017 did what no other Disney show or comic could do, and that was satisfyingly tying every aspect of Donald Duck and his character and his personality into one show. And because they got every aspect of the character fully realized in the show, we got everything about Donald Duck perfectly. He's a man with bad luck, but he works hard and rolls with the punches life throws at him. Every day he works to create a better future for himself and his 3 nephews. He's funny, he's lovable, and he tries his best in everything he does. DuckTales 2017 fully encapsulates Donald Duck. This is the end of my slideshow.